My name is Clara Towson, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
I am Francisca George, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Susan Leemans and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom. Yeah.
My name is Zainab Sammaz and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hey guys, my name is Sasha Vickery and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Harris and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Jaime Faria and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Yes.
Take one. Well done.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Paulini and I'm a friend of the show.
Wow, Jasmine, you got it in one time.
Ready? Play.
Hello. Oh, my mic is completely away from me, but I will fix that soon. And obviously, guys, we are meeting here to talk about Iga Swiatek and Mirra Andreeva. The quarterfinals in Dubai are just beginning. Iga and Mirra, of course, the two still young. I mean, you can still say Swiatek is young, even though she's been around forever. The two young super talents are meeting for the second time. Cincinnati, that was their first meeting, 2024. And well, it was competitive. It kind of definitely like made our hunger for this rivalry to be amazing a bit stronger. I think that Cincinnati is obviously not Iga's favorite court in the world. She's not timing the ball well there for the most part. Most editions, most matches could be different in Dubai, but at the same time, of course, this is also an event she has not won yet. So there is some intrigue to this. Mirra has been enjoying a very good season, I'd say. I mean, she's 10-3, I believe, and while she hasn't maybe like gotten that one amazing result, she's just been very solid. The one quote unquote like bad loss was to Rebecca Shramkova last week, but before that she only lost to Arina Sabalenka twice in Brisbane and in Australia. Generally speaking, wins against this caliber of opposition, so Swiatek, Sabalenka, Rybakina, Goff, it's not something very common for her yet. Obviously she beat Arina at Roland Garros, but we know there was like more to that story, considering the Belarusian had a stomach bug. After that, after that and before that, she's kind of been destroyed in the matchup. But Swiatek, maybe she has a shot at. I mean, Cincinnati, obviously, that was really tight. We know that typically Iga doesn't tend to struggle against opponents who are, let's say, more of a counter puncher type. Generally, you need to like blast her off the court. Andreeva doesn't really have that ability. But again, it's pretty quick surface. We'll see how the serve is going to be looking from Swiatek. I think it's actually been much better in Dubai than in Doha, perhaps due to the speed, perhaps due to the fact that the slider is so dangerous. And well, I'm still expecting an Iga win, I would suppose, but it's definitely an intriguing matchup that we're going to be watching for years to come. Like, if you, for some magical reason, hate Swiatek and Andreeva, well, I don't have good news for you. This will be a matchup that I think we'll see in a Grand Slam final one day, and probably just keep watching it over the years. On my screen already, a very very haunting stat for Andreeva is that Swiatek in the quarterfinals at the WTA 1000 level is 16-1. Well, I mean, it's a pretty random stat, obviously. WTA 1000 level, just one round. But yeah, still, I mean, she's getting to these semis, to these finals consistently. Of course, Dubai, while it's not an event she's won yet, as I already said, she actually has had runs. 2023 she makes the final, loses to Krejcikova. Last year she makes the semifinals and loses to Kalinskaya. Most years as well, Doha was the event that she won before Dubai, so that kind of is also it was impacting her chances to go deeper in Dubai. Now she played one fewer match in Doha, essentially. Is this going to be enough, or maybe is this going to motivate her even more to go for this title? Maybe. I mean, she's obviously quite motivated to go for any title, but maybe. Anyway, for now in this opening game, Andreeva getting a nice backhand return down the line here. Probably kickers to the Andreeva backhand of the second serve. That will not be the most brilliant idea, considering that backhand down the line is a bit of a trademark for the Russian. And in this very opening game of the match, we'll already have a breakpoint for Andreeva. Let's see how they both handle this opportunity. Swiatek is on top of the point early. Andreeva trying to get back into this. And if the shot found the baseline, yeah, she would have been in control. But it didn't, so we are deuce. He's playing a very deep forehand counter there. Swiatek handled it, even the spider was out. She hit it over the net, but there was a chance there for Mirra if that shot actually makes it for sure. Another good deep return from the Russian, but she doesn't convert it into anything with a backhand unforced error. And maybe Swiatek can get her first game on the board. In terms of Iga's performance in Dubai so far, she's played Victoria Azarenka and Diana Yastremska. Two pretty easy matches besides the first set against Yastremska, but even there she was not close to losing the set. She was the one that led 5-3 before eventually winning it 7-5. But obviously, yeah, Yastremska carries a lot of the traits that generally are tough for Iga to handle, so it was a pretty good win. And then, of course, it was a bagel in the second set. Speaking of pretty good, I mean, that's quite a point to end the game. She had to really attack the net here, play a decent forehand volley, smash the ball away. Andreeva extending it by 2 shots more than I would have expected, to be honest. But yeah, Swiatek stays composed to take the point and take her first game. Hi, Terry, who is clearly supporting Mirra Andreeva today. At least that's what I gathered from Hi, Go Mirra. I think that's pretty telling, but maybe someone won't agree. No, I mean, obviously it's pretty telling. Let's make the score a little bit bigger. We're not gonna see any stats of Google here, but let's just make the score a little bigger. This is the first quarterfinal, needless to say. Oh, by the way, very interesting. They have both won 75% of their return games at this event on a pretty quick court. Yeah, that's insane. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that this is the first quarterfinal, but it might actually be the best one in the lineup. This is, of course, mostly due to the fact that the last few days were filled with rain, so you can't have Muchova and Kirstea playing early on, and basically Swiatek has been playing the second match every day, so yeah, scheduling wise, that's just what made sense, I guess. Andreeva, by the way, had 2 matches to play yesterday, but they were so short against Peyton Stearns and Marketa Vondroushova that I don't think fatigue is going to be a concern for Mirra. Well, we're seeing some really good offensive firepower from Swiatek here with this inside-out backhand. I feel like this shot has been really standing up both in Doha and in Dubai. Standing up to the tests in both Doha and Dubai. Of course, Elena Ostapenko, well, there weren't any opportunities to play it, really. Again, some good quality from Swiatek there. The return might have been a little accidental, but the way it sets her up eventually for the big forehand is also going to grant her a point. So love 30. What I was going to say is that this is probably the best quarterfinal, but, coming up, Rybakina against Sofia Kenin, who's in great form right now. Rybakina, of course, saved 6 match points yesterday against Paula Badosa. That was pretty insane. Another very deep return from Iga, but she doesn't manage to win the point this time. And also the other quarterfinals, we have our Tauson Noskova. I feel like that is a massive match. You should watch it 100%. Tauson and Noskova played in the opening round of the Australian Open and was fantastic. Now they are both in amazing form. Linda peaking in the Middle East. Clara just top 10 for the year in the WTA race, barely. Maybe not after today, but we'll see. I feel like that's, there's some similarities between the offensive games of these two youngsters, how strong they are. Okay, that's going to be 2 breakpoints for Swiatek with this like shovelish backhands down the line return. This was so quick. I think the Mirra serve was on the base, on the line, on the line of the service box. And Iga just like performs this very quick reaction to get it done, essentially. All right. And the last match, of course, will be Muchova against Kirstea. Kirstea yesterday spending almost 5 hours, or actually over 5 hours on the court, I think. Which, I'm not really a fan of her chances today because of that. She's 35 or 34. But who knows? She clearly has woken up in Dubai because of that long layoff she had. Last year, she was a semi-finalist, which is kind of easy to forget about. And, enjoys these conditions for sure. Mirra saves the first breakpoint with an ace. But the second will be a second serve return. Iga stepping in for the inside-out bomb. Doesn't quite win the point off of it. She's still going to play for it and has to try to go for that backhand down the line. Kind of low margin considering the slice from Andreeva was nicely knifed. But the 2 breakpoints have been saved. Of course, in the opening game, Swiatek saved 1. Now Andreeva saved 2, but let's see if she can actually get out of this game. The return that Swiatek played, the one where she just dynamically runs around her backhand, I think she wanted it to make a bit more damage. And after that, Mirra didn't really allow her to put herself on the back foot. What an insane backhand down the line from Swiatek here again, though. This wasn't straight off the return. This was like the third shot of the rally, but yeah, that's all I have to say. Fourth shot considering she was on return. But yeah, there's no way even such a good defender as Mirra is going to do anything about that. So breakpoint number 3. Again, the second serve. This time Iga decides to take it off the backhand, but the timing is off. So 1 more save here. If Iga progresses to the semis, she's just beaten Rybakina in Doha. Kenin, she played twice last year in like faster conditions, and it felt like Sofia was peaking. I think Iga is probably the title favorite by now. Of course, yesterday Arina Sabalenka was eliminated. Coco Gauff, was it even yesterday or the day before? I don't even remember. I think it was 2 days ago, right? So some of the other contenders have gone, have been taken out by now. But let's see how she handles Andreeva going forward. This is an interesting change-up here with the slice approach down the line from Swiatek. It actually does not do the trick. Andreeva is very good on this pass. And she might get a chance. She is getting a chance here to get us to 1 game all. It would be a very eventful 1 game all. As I said earlier, they are both breaking in 3 out of 4 games, essentially, in this tournament. But it looks like they might not break in these opening ones here. No, because, not yet at least, because Swiatek finds this ridiculous backhand down the line again. I feel like that's the 3rd winner in that direction this game. Actually, 4th, right? Because there was an inside out. Yeah, there was an inside out on the first point, then the return, then the one which she took off the bounce, and now this one. Yeah, so 4 winners this game alone with the backhand down the line. At the same time, she missed one of these on a breakpoint, so it's not like it's been spotless, but obviously the net balance is still very much in the black, right? Black or red? In the red. Never mind. A longer rally here, and it's actually going to be a dead net court from Mirra that wins her that. The ball kind of looked like it had like a brief moment of hesitation where it didn't even know which side of the net it should land on. Even though I'm watching it in real time, I had like, well, where is this dropping? But it did drop on Swiatek's side. Another decent reaction on the return from Swiatek here. But can she win this point? It's a longer exchange. Mirra kind of trying to pepper her backhand, and that's been so solid. And she wins the point eventually. Not with another winner, but just, yeah, quality ball striking, really. So still not over this game. But kind of interesting that a few of these neutral forehands, Mirra just like kept going at the Swiatek backhand, which clearly has been, on it from the very beginning of this match today. Plays another deep return with the backhand. Really? That was out? Okay. From the screen, I would never say that, but Swiatek seems a bit surprised as well. I thought that was spot on, but obviously I don't have the best view here. So one more opportunity for Mirra to clean up the game. Goes for the backhand cross court here. Okay. I think that Iga, just like me, was expecting Mirra to find her favorite down the line corridor here. The Russian goes for a very quick backhand cross court, and that's going to do the trick. So one game all after 14 minutes. As I said, a pretty eventful one game all, especially from Andreeva's perspective. Conchita Martinez on our screens, of course, the coach of Mirra Andreeva, formerly worked with like Garbiñe Muguruza, and I don't have to tell you what she did in her professional career herself. It does feel like Mirra has been improving since they started the relationship, even though, we, as usual, like we're just sitting on the outside and we can't really tell what exactly is the influence of Martinez for the most part, but the results, the game has been looking a little bit better, 100%. And yeah, now after this game where Swiatek had so many chances to break and get ahead, she has to overcome that disappointment pretty quickly and just keep going like she's been so far. Mirra with a good return. It's not quite enough to win the point yet. Swiatek is producing a lot of topspin here on that forehand. But Mirra with the counter down the line. That's an insane shot. This time with her forehand, she just kind of takes over, whereas Iga was thinking she's up in the point for sure. A little bit of frustration on the Pole's face. But yeah, that was just like expertly done by the teenager. That backhand inside out, though, is working perfectly. Cross court as well. Andreeva stays in the point, but how long can she keep it up? Actually, she can. With the very last shot, Swiatek decides to go for the forehand inside in instead of inside out. Clearly wrong. Andreeva is there in that corner, and she finds the forehand pass. So yeah, some interesting gets here from Mirra, like barely staying in the point, but it's enough to eventually get that small tactical error from the pole and fire another forehand winner down the line. I mean, just last game we had Swiatek finding 4 backhands down the line, right? Now she's got 2 of the forehand with Andreeva already, in just 3 points, by the way. And who knows, maybe she can break here as well with another forehand down the line winner. 3 break points coming her way. And, well, she won't get to hit another forehand in this game, but that's good because she breaks with a Swiatek double fault. So Andreeva up a break. Definitely, all 3 games so far have featured at least 1 breakpoint, right? But yeah, that was quite nice. It was like active defense, and that's probably the key. Obviously, as I said before, Andreeva can't really afford to be just too passive here. players like this, usually they just lose to Swiatek because she eventually finds her groove and then there's nothing you can do. But she just showed how basically she can approach the match while still maybe not playing, ahead for the most part, but just being a little more dangerous than, I don't know, a Sara Sorribes Tormo would. Hello, Nurlan. Would I eagerly look for every opportunity to take a peek with Mirra Andreeva if she lives next door as in your neighborhood? No, I have never taken a photo with anybody, really. Like, I've probably taken a photo as a kid in the sense that, my parents had me against somebody and they took the photo. But I've never taken a photo with a celebrity or something. Like, I don't know, it just doesn't really interest me at all. Well, maybe if it was like a non-tennis celebrity, I would feel a little different about it. Like, I don't know, Bear Grylls shows up in my neighborhood and I would kind of, want to make some jokes to my friends about it. And then maybe I would be more tempted. But if it's like a tennis player, I don't know. I don't mind whatsoever. I mean, might sound a bit brutal, but after a while, it's not like I've seen all of the main stars of the tennis circuits live or something like that. I mean, Mirra Andreeva, I've never watched live, obviously, but after a while, it just kind of gets a bit more normal. Like, you're not treating these people as, oh, look, it's Mirra Andreeva, but you're like treating them as, regular persons. And yeah, I don't think I would be this excited to take a photo with Mirra Andreeva or any other tennis player. Yeah, it would have to be like something, a celebrity that would sort of be a meme. Like if Chuck Norris was on my street, yeah, I'd love to have that photo. I don't know who else. But yeah, it would have to be something that would allow me to like meme about this to my friends. I might not be good at comedy, but I like comedy. And yeah, certainly it would have to be something like this. Like something completely absurd, I don't know who is really more absurd than Chuck Norris showing up in my street. Bear Grylls was actually in my city, the city where I live in right now, because he recorded an episode of his show here. There's basically like a lot of like desolated, how do you call that place where they like produce ships? But yeah, anyway, near the sea here, there's a lot of like desolated buildings, and he was doing an episode of his show there. But obviously I did not meet him. I don't know why he came to mind. Maybe that's why he came to mind. I don't know. He was at least here, whereas Chuck Norris, I doubt he ever was in Poland. There's actually a very famous Polish video on YouTube, which is Chuck Norris in Poland, but it's just a lookalike that they like find lying drunk on the side of the road. I know it sounds like the most Polish thing ever, and it kind of is. We also have a video of a drunk Adam Małysz, the most famous ski jumper, well, maybe ever. Also, like just his lookalike, talking some weird stuff. I guess maybe it's like a common theme in Poland just to have videos of drunk lookalikes of people. But if it was a drunk lookalike of Mirra Andreeva, I probably wouldn't be that excited to take that photo either. Anyway, 40-15 for Mirra here. That very tight backhand cross court from Swiatek was a little iffy. But, well, I actually didn't want to say iffy. I wanted to say that I was very close to the line. What I was trying to say, because I got confused here, is that Swiatek, I think, well, do we have a video review here? Because I think she is requesting a video review. There was a very short, very like accidental return from Swiatek, which ends up barely crossing the net. And Andreeva was there to like just barely, pick it up, just like touch it, and it goes over the net. But I think Swiatek is requesting a video review on whether Mirra touched the net. Just of watching the real-time footage, I would say it's very much a possibility. I think she might have touched the net before the ball bounces twice. Kader Nuni is now going to be following, just talking to some guys on the headset and probably also following the video review footage. I'm not sure. I hope they show it to us. But yeah, I mean, this is definitely one of these cases where the video review could change the call. but we won't know before we get that. I mean, from our perspective, from behind the players, it was very, very, very hard to tell. Well, for now, the only footage I'm getting is Kader Nouni watching something on his tablet and sitting there with the headset on. So I really cannot tell you much. I haven't gotten a single replay of that shot from Mirra. Well, somebody is also fixing the net, which once more might indicate that she touched it. But she might have touched it, after the ball bounces twice, in which case that's not important. Well, yeah, as I said, so far no replays on my screen. Who wins current Mirra Andreeva versus Iga at 17? Obviously current Mirra Andreeva. It's not particularly close. As we know, development isn't linear. I mean, there's no telling how Mirra will be playing in 5 years. But at 17, Iga wasn't as good yet. Okay, now we have a replay, finally. Let's see. And I'm still not sure, to be honest. It seems like the racket kind of, the net kind of moves. Maybe from this angle it will be better. But with what? Yeah, okay. She touches it 100%. Yeah, it's Iga's point. No, I mean, it is Iga's point. You can't even see her specifically touching the net, but there's that stick that holds it up, and that falls over, and you can see that the net is moving a bit, so it's clearly Iga's point. Yeah, 100%. 40-30 Andreeva. That's a funny reaction from her. I mean, she obviously thought she got the game there. But let's see. Okay, I mean, sure. Andreeva goes for the body, and Swiatek is playing the least technical stroke I've ever seen her pull off, but it's actually a direct return winner. Sure. Yeah, I mean, on the screen, even on the replays, you can't really see where she touched the net, but you can see the net moves. Pretty fascinating, but well, I mean, with their video review, yeah, sure. But I can also understand why Kader Nouni didn't call it, right? Because it seems like it was very tough to tell from real-time footage. Or, well, in fact, in the case of what he saw, it wasn't even footage, right? It was just real-time action. Anyway, now breakpoint for Swiatek. So this video review call might end up being really important. Maybe not yet for this match, but for how the set progresses, and obviously for Iga staying level if she can break here. She had 4 breakpoints in the previous Andreeva service game. Seems like the break kind of, well, I don't want to say ruined, but hampered Andreeva's serving rhythm too. We are in a longer point here. Swiatek going backhand line, but it's not one of these kill shots yet. And she's trying to accelerate forehand crosscourt. She misses it. Both players are in a surprisingly, I would say jolly mood. Swiatek is laughing about her mistakes a lot. Andreeva, after that video review, was also kind of just amused. Anyway, one more breakpoint saved by Andreeva. Some nice depth from the Russian teenager. She plays a deep shot at Swiatek's middle. Iga trying to recover for the backhand again, down the line or inside out even, and she nets it. So perhaps Mirra will still get the game after all the mess with the video review. And yes, she will. It's an ace down the team. Well, it wouldn't be the most impactful video review yet, obviously, especially as Mirra won the game. I think that was probably the Australian Open doubles final. That probably kind of stands out to me so far as the most important video review I've seen. Really changed the momentum in the opening set. Borelli Vavasori could have claimed it easily, and yet well, they actually still did in the insane tiebreak, but it was really well, they didn't get a set point because of it. I think in doubles especially it will actually come into play a lot, right? There's so many spots where like you try to put the ball away as the net player, and you have to be very precise not to get your racket over the net too quickly. So or rather get your racket over the net at all. So I think there it's going to be really coming in quite often. Singles, we'll see. Again, Mirra won the game, so probably not the most important here. There in that Bolelli, Vavasori, Heriovara pattern clash, it was a case of 5-4, 30-30, if I remember correctly. So basically, instead of a set point for the Italians, we got a break point for Heriovara pattern, which they converted. Anyway, I mean, now it's 1-3, and Iga has to kind of be careful here, not to avoid going down a significant deficit. Wow, she really like accelerates her wrist power here on this forehand. Flattens it out a lot. Okay. Somewhat unusual technique for her, I'd say, but it works. It's 15-all now. Mirra was definitely quite surprised by that too. But well, Mirra is now showing Iga that she's not the only one who has a lovely backhand down the line. Still needed to finish it off, but that was just the shot that won the point, realistically. Swiatek was way too far behind then. So yeah, I mean, soon enough, we might even have Mirra up a double break if this kind of like momentum continues here. Deep forehand from Swiatek. Again, the backhand line is beautiful, but, well, Andreeva just forces her to play one more shot there, but Iga is ready. Picking up this forehand cross-court off a slice. Always a bit tougher with that change of pace. But still a really, really good shot. 4 forehand winners to Andreeva's 2, Swiatek. But of course, she's the one down on the scoreboard. I mean, she will probably produce more winners than Andreeva here. Obviously, she'll be the one kind of like dictating for the most part, but it's clear that Andreeva has a lot to show here today so far. Now it's Mirra throwing in the drop shot. It's not going to work out. Interesting strategy for sure. Can't tell you if this was going to get her the point. Iga was already in the court when it was close to the net. Maybe she probably gets it. I just don't know what she would have done with it. But yeah, 30 minutes, and this match is only in the 5th game. Of course, there was that long 2nd game of the match, then the video review, most of them having breakpoints and deuces. So definitely we're not like flying in terms of the pace. Both players also know how to like extend points despite pretty quick conditions. This time it won't be possible for Andreeva though, as Iga gets her 2nd game of the match. Still down a break. Let's see how the Russian does after the changeover. Michu is very sure about Swiatek winning. Matthew is pleasantly surprised as well. Yeah, I mean, considering how Iga's timing was looking in the first 2 games, I was thinking this could be one of these matches where, yeah, she's just a little bit too good early on and just front runs from there. But so far, we don't really have that happening. So that's good for the competitiveness for sure. Is it true that out of all the quarterfinalists, you would be the happiest if Mirra Andreeva won the tournament? I don't know if I have a story here that I would most like to see, to be honest. I mean, all of the players left, honestly, are so good to watch. Like, we're just watching some really, brave attacking tennis from most of them. Andreeva, on the other hand, is so well-rounded and like so tough to make her uncomfortable. Muchova, obviously, is a great watch. Kirstea, I've always been a big fan of her ball striking as well. Kenin, now that she's like back in regular, consistent form, I do kind of appreciate her a bit more again. Tauson Noskova, as I said, like that's just such a cracking matchup of two similarly, let's say, oriented players. So I think generally like that all the matches look pretty tasty, and I don't know if I have a preferred winner of this event realistically. Sometimes there is that that story, like I don't know, at the Australian Open, it was tough to root against Madison Keys, right? Finally getting that slam. I guess here, I mean, obviously Muchova is still a player who hasn't won too many titles. In fact, I think just one, but I still have a lot of confidence that she'll do it. It doesn't feel like a final chance for her, whereas for Keys, it was like, okay, probably it's now or never. And for Muchova, I think there will be more chances as long as she stays healthy. The rest are all like young and still have a lot ahead of them. So I don't think if there's like a overwhelming story of the tournament, that would be something insane. Of course, Mirra, Tauson, Oshkova, all of them so young, picking up their first title would be something. Iga winning Dubai for the first time and kind of confirming that she's been, the most solid player of the season so far. That's also quite appealing. So yeah, I don't really have a preference for the most part. All 8 players I think are very good to watch. I've had my issues with Kenyon in the past, and kind of probably on the channel called her one of the most overrated Grand Slam champions. I think this still might be the case, or at least she's not exactly out of that conversation, but certainly enjoying the last few weeks from her, and how suddenly she is now not operating on a few random peaks like in 2024, where of course she was like 16-22 or something like that on the tour. No, even worse maybe, and that's with a Tokyo final. But also had the 2 good matches against Iga. But now it seems like she's able to bring it consistently and has been a pretty fun watch as well. Well, that's a couple of just like snapped forehands from Swiatek. So that already puts her in a pretty tough position in this game. She's not exactly like dying for that break yet, but obviously she'd like to regain it quicker than earlier than later. She definitely cannot like default to this. I played an aggressive shot to Andreeva's forehand corner here. I can just like stay safe mode, because that's again Mirra just finding a forehand down the line. And it's literally on the dot. So 40 love here. Looks like a pretty quick game for Andreeva coming up. She goes to the net. Slice passing shot from Swiatek. Well, Mirra needed a lot of good touch here to potentially claim this, but she actually doesn't make it. So 40-15. Obviously, she's a pretty good volleyer. I mean, she's got excellent hand skills overall, but not on this occasion. And this will go out from Iga, I think. Yes, so 4-2. Pretty uneventful game, which is exactly what Mirra wants right now. Just get these quick holds and look for the insurance break if it's possible. It was probably the fastest hold of the match for either player as well. Especially the first 2 foreheads of the baseline from Swiatek. I mean, it's errors that obviously aren't like egregious or anything, but she cannot afford them right now, really, with being behind in the set. And when she went down of 30, the chances for a break already looked pretty bleak. Ooh, good block return from Andreeva. It dips below the net. Swiatek trying to approach with the forehand, but it's gonna be in the net. Similar shot she missed to that Madison Keys breakpoint in the 3rd set, right? Where it was clear she was very tense and she just didn't quite have the feeling for that shot at the time. This time, of course, she's not that nervous, but still an uncomfortable ball sometimes. Andreeva going for another down the line forehand stunner. This time she lands it in the net, but Iga has to be careful, as once more, I mean, this is a shot that just simply would have won Mirra the point if she makes it. It's not like a very high margin stroke, definitely not. But this could have been love 30 quite easily here, because once more, like, Iga kind of defaulted to playing with a lot of spin to that wing, but well, not expecting anything like this from the Russian. Does get to 30-15 here. Sorry for all the yawning. I know it's contagious, so if you are also yawning at home, sorry, but well, John made me wake up at 11 a.m. No, I'm kidding. I've actually been up for a while. Well, let's say with a small nap just before this match, but I did watch Kyrian Jacquet losing to Hugo Blanchet in India earlier, along with some of the Lord Tomic lost to Kumoyun Sultanov. Was trying to catch Baez Navone yesterday, but I did end up falling asleep. I think maybe like start of the third set. Then didn't see any of the Monteiro Tseng clash, which seems like it was quite impressive too. I mean, Komesania Haide was just the fourth longest match in tournament history a few days ago, and now that's been beaten. Anyway, not too important right now. Andreeva with the big forehand return, but still one more game point for Swiatek. I think these second serve kickers, just gotta scrap them altogether. They were doing some damage in Doha, but not against someone like Ostapenko. And I think Dubai conditions, they just aren't perfect for that. Well, this serve is also just a point starter from Iga, but Mirra misses the backhand down the line. So 4-3, still within touching distance, but it's looking a little like, Iga needs that reaction right now. At 2-3, I was saying that, like, there's still time. It's not the most important game yet. But right now, I think, obviously, she'll be pretty desperate to try to look for that break. Let's see what happens after the changeover. I feel like also this game was far from perfect generally for her. And Andreeva, if she was just a touch more clinical on a few key shots, could have looked for another break here. So interestingly, they're once again kind of like mixing up the level of, once again, because I was talking about Doha as well, they did it too, that they're like kind of mixing up the order of the semifinals. Rybakina, Kenin, they are the semifinal opponents for Andreeva Swiatek, and yet they're not playing after this match. It's going to be Tauson Noskova first. Not a big fan of that, but well, maybe it made a lot more sense scheduling wise for some other reason. I don't know. Who's the last number one who most plays like Andreeva? That's an interesting question. Obviously we've had a lot of like really strong, powerful number ones. I don't know, Muguruza, Pliskova, Osaka, Williams, right? Is it like Martina Hingis or something like that? I don't know. Definitely not Moresmo or Eneo, I guess. Kleisters, probably not either. How about Jelena Jankovic? Is that fair to say that her game is a little like Jelena Jankovic? Oh, Wozniacki, I guess. But no, Caroline is... there are some similarities, right? I guess with Caroline, but Mirra is just more versatile for sure. Wozniacki was just like a pure defender. Halep, though. Oh, yeah. Halep, probably. Yeah, maybe Halep. I think Halep is a fair shout. Mirra definitely like throws in the slice and the touch a bit more. Just is a bit more versatile as a defender than Halep was, but probably Halep in terms of just like, being a counter puncher and being very quick around the court and stuff like that. Yeah, I think we can probably go to Halep. How do I foresee the men's? Sloane Stevens has won a slam. Yeah, that's fair too, but obviously she's. Oh yeah, you were talking about the overrated slam champions. I mean, Sloane has a very high peak. You know, the fact that she's not repeating it, yeah, but she has a very high peak. Well, this game is also looking pretty great for Mirra, 40 love up. The serve is doing a lot of damage too. I know that the ace count is high, but like not even that. Basically, anytime she gets her first serve in, it feels like Iga gets to, well, it just doesn't get much time on it. Once more, she's returning close to the baseline. She might need to on this court, but okay. And that's super quick game for Mirra. As I said earlier, that's exactly what she wants right now. How do I foresee the men's quarterfinals breaking down? Okay, so what do we have here? Rublev, Deminor. Okay. I mean, Rublev is just in this section where like there's all these struggling 96, 98 players, right? So Rublev and Medvedev and Tsitsipas isn't there anymore, but he was there. I guess Deminor should just like continue cruising. I don't know if Rublev has the level right now to like keep up with him in the, just not make too much enough, well, not make too many errors. I think Felix, yeah, probably can do something, but at the same time, maybe this is where Medvedev starts some sort of a wake up call. Felix, of course, had a very tough match against Quentin Ollis. Outdoors, his game is like a 50-50, I suppose. He obviously won a title just in January, but it's not as dangerous. But seems like pretty close right now. I mean, possibly Medvedev will not like fully wake up until maybe Dubai, where it's a bit quicker, maybe Miami, right? If he even will fully wake up. Well, Andreeva now dominating this point. She is approaching the net and she's gonna miss the final volley. But I mean, she did everything right here besides that last shot. Iga's power is not enough. I mean, she doesn't have less power than Mirra. She's not a Sabalenka or Stapenko or Rybakina in the power game. I think that the Sabalenka matchup is definitely a bit more difficult for Mirra. But I mean, she's still a very aggressive player, and like most of the time, unless there's like a good return from Andreeva, she's gonna be the one dominating the points. Just all about wrapping them up against someone who's this quick, defends well, but can also counter and play off your pace that well. Double fault at 15 love. Yeah, sorry, Barry, for that. I mean, sometimes maybe I have to click it or something like this. I don't know. But now it's updated anyway. Can Lehechka or Draper Berrettini give Carlos a fright? So Alcaraz is playing Lehechka today. Okay, yeah, probably. I mean, the both matches look pretty tough for Carlos. Yeah, maybe Matteo more so than Jack even. Maybe Iji and Matteo. I don't know. I mean, Doha yesterday was just such a horrible tournament. There was literally nothing interesting to watch the entire day. But I think today will be much different. Well, unfortunately for Swiatek, her second serve is once again just being destroyed. I mean, there's no other word to describe it. Again, it's like the very safe kicker to the Andreeva backhand, and Mirra just finds it down the line, and she'll have a couple of set points. I think that again, the second serve kicks, they're just not good enough on this court. Not at all. Her first serve is a bit better, but even of that, Andreeva finds another return winner. And that really wasn't a horrible attempt at the first serve. Well, it's a 6-3 set for Mirra Andreeva. What you might sort of like start thinking about is Swiatek even capable of winning this with her serve? Because the last few games, it just seems like Andreeva is so capable of taking over from the very first shot. And even though it's not exactly her game to, be ahead and, I don't know, construct the points, she doesn't need to, because she's winning all of these return points in 2-3 strokes, right? But well, it's a 6-3 set for Andreeva, who's definitely showed up today. Shown up even, and yeah, she might be getting that very important win in her career. Let's see. The first few games looked the best from Iga, right? The backhand down the line when she was finding it like a charm, kind of rhymed, but not fully. But yeah, after that, just Mirra playing some great counters. Some of the decision making on Swiatek's offensive weaponry was not amazing, and then the returning from Andreeva, like really just she turns it on. And even of the first serve here on set point, that's actually a fantastic return. Conchita is happy about it. That's kind of obvious. Let's see if Swiatek is going to the toilet. I don't think so. So I think we might get this first set rolling pretty soon, unless that person that I see in the background now isn't Iga and she just went off the court. I don't know. Anyway, we'll see soon. Completely tuned out of Rio, was invested in Buenos Aires, but now I'm solely focused on Doha and Dubai. Sure, Matthew. I mean, to be honest with you, I am completely tuned out of Doha. Maybe I will turn it on again today, but like I only watched Berrettini against Novak and Tsitsipas against Medvedev. But like yesterday, I didn't find anything interesting there. Every single favorite besides Berrettini was winning so easily. Even Carlos, like I don't care that he dropped a set. He was always winning that. Rio I've watched a bit of, but there's some issues there with the time zone sometimes. I have actually started watching a ton of Dubai since yesterday for sure, and I think I will keep doing that today. And obviously there's also the 4 challengers, so that's kind of always like my priority. So I'd say that Doha is the event that I've largely ignored this week. Anyway, yeah, as a okay, so Andreeva is back. I guess that was not Swiatek in the background. It was actually just a ball boy or something. So I think she did go off the court. Anyway, never mind. Soon enough, we should see them playing again, I guess. Mirra is already walking to her team while Iga is out. Well, to Conchita. I think Conchita is the only person on her team. Maybe. It's funny because Martinez is saying something and Mirra is like, be louder. I don't understand it. But yeah, we will have a toilet break for Swiatek, which is quite predictable. I love how Andreeva just won a 6-3 set against the world number 2, and Conchita still has so much to say and kind of like to improve, but obviously that's also a sign of a good coach. I will probably try to grab myself water. I think I have it already in my bottle, so it won't be long. But yeah, obviously not the brightest set of tennis Iga Swiatek has ever played, but she does need some quick reaction here, especially the serving again, just getting demolished like this. Even Yastremska wasn't doing that much damage to it yesterday, and I was thinking maybe in Dubai it's just gonna be a lot better. Not really the case here. Does Iga Swiatek just need to go on like a month-long break and work on her serve the entire time? You could probably make that argument. But yeah, now she's back. And obviously it's going to be Mirra starting the second set. Let's see. There's Cincinnati clash. Wasn't it Andreeva as well who won the first set? It was definitely like 7-5 in the third for Iga. But something like that anyway. Another good backhand line from Swiatek. She's pushing Andreeva for that error, and she finally gets it. Obviously, she'd love a quick break here, just get ahead and never look back in the second set. But let's see if Mirra allows her for something like this or not. Oh, especially with the serving quality that Mirra is exhibiting, that's, that makes the contrast even stronger. It's interesting as well because the returns that Andreeva was hitting at the end of the first set, like they're not the type of returns that Ostapenko will hit against Swiatek, right? She's not like coming onto the ball. She's not taking it in the very first moment she can, really. She's actually like stepping back a little bit and still finding the opportunity for a winner with a more, let's say, precise approach to it, rather than just focusing on the fact that you have to take time away and take it early. So anyway, that's not too important right now, as Swiatek fires her own return winner for 15-30. That barely found the line. This one also, well, this one was pretty much exactly on the line, I think. So it's back-to-back huge backhand returns on both sides of the court. Well, I think I've seen these fans yesterday as well. One banner says that Iga should win it for Grappa. Grappa is the name of her cat. And the other says that they love her more than she loves tiramisu. Well, anyway, first breakpoint saved. This time Swiatek's aggressive return position doesn't really pay off. She doesn't get too much time on the forehand line here. But one more breakpoint. She has not broken yet in this match, right? And she must be like 0 out of 7 or something like that. Maybe we're gonna check that stat in on the change of ends, if that change of ends happens after this game, especially. Well, she's got some early pressure in the point, but she's gonna miss another forehand here off the slice from Andreeva. Well, how is the breakpoint stat? 0 out of 5, but I think that's probably before these two, right? Yeah, Google is not too quick with their updates, it seems. But anyway, yeah, it's deuce now. 0 out of 7, I believe. Swiatek on breakpoints by now. And that's an ace out wide from Andreeva. So this will be a pretty discouraging start for the Pole if she loses this game. 5th ace for Mirra, none for Iga, but of course that's kind of like the surface area of the problem. Well, third return winner this game from Swiatek. This time inside out forehand, so she keeps pushing her this. I mean, not in every single Andreeva service game, of course, but it's the third one with breakpoints, I think. But again, yeah, you just gotta take that one more step at some point. 4 return winners from Swiatek, 3 in this game, 3 from Andreeva, and I think 2 were in the last game of the set. In fact, 2 were on the last 2 points of the set. So they haven't hit a lot of them, but they just kind of like concentrated them nicely in some key moments. But maybe this game won't be as much of a key moment as Iga would hope for, as this massive forehand return down the middle is long. But she's refusing to let Mirra close this out. This time it's a safer option in terms of the return, but it's good enough to like make Mirra lose her balance a little bit, and Iga is quick to swoop in with the cross-court backhand winner. 7-5 in terms of backhand winners for Iga. Of course, there was that one game where she hit like 4 of them. So again, quite concentrated in one spot. But yeah, let's see if she can finally break this. Break in this game is like, yeah, she's had way too many chances already, but she's not gonna get another one here. Again, the fact that Mirra is just playing this slice defensively, the change of pace is clearly bothering her. Like that's nothing, nothing unusual really. A lot of opponents of the Russian have to withstand that somehow, but it's not been like the best attempt from the Pole. "58 minutes and we're only in the 10th game. Of course, a lot of factors in that, but also, yeah, plenty of these games, the video review. I think it's a double fault from Mirra. Yeah, obviously after the last few return points on that side, she's like, I gotta go for it a bit more. I think she was really trying to find the line there. First double fault of the match for her, 2 for Swiatek, who I think got broken in the opening set on a double fault as well. Well, this is a good return in the fact that Iga just like is in the rally, but she's gonna mistime her next backhand. And this never-ending game is still going, but with another game point for Mirra. 9 backhand unforced errors from Swiatek, 4 from Andreeva. Yeah, I mean, the winner counts and the unforced error counts should be higher for the Pole. But the difference is what makes the difference, haha. Anyway, Andreeva, ace out wide, so she gets that game. Once more, Iga doesn't break, despite getting so many maybe is a stretch, but 2 opportunities and so many deuce points after this. So, well, she doesn't get the quick break she was definitely hoping for here. What are the chances that Iga has broken ribs or maybe even flu? I don't know. I know what you're referring to, Nurlan. I don't think she ever really like uses that as an excuse, to be honest. Like, is she not supposed to mention that she had the rib injury? I don't know. And Matthew, first of all, Richard Gasquet is retiring at the French Open. So that's been announced a while ago. So in June, June or late May, he's going to call it a day. And in terms of Dan Evans calling it a day, as you said here, I agree. I mean, if he doesn't win some indoor challenger title, I think he's kind of done. Oeiras, early in the season, he loses to Gustavo Elias indoors. Like, yeah, that just shouldn't be happening. Today he's playing Daniel Rincon in Glasgow. I think he's a couple of bad losses away from retirement. Yeah, I don't think it makes sense to continue if he can't beat opponents like this indoors. I still think he might win this event. I think he's one of the favorites in Glasgow. And obviously he had some big moments last year, Almaty and, well, kind of Almaty maybe only. But yeah, I don't think he's done yet, but a few bad losses from it. Oh, wow. Speaking of someone who might be a few bad, misses in this case from being done in this match. Yeah, this drive volley from Swiatek. Holy hell. Just let it bounce. I know that there are there's this church of like letting it bounce and also not letting it bounce, because some people just think that you gotta take it off the air. You can't give your opponent the time to recover. Some people say that let it bounce, it's gonna be easier. I think in this very case, it's obvious that she should have let it bounce. But anyway, yeah, she just like drives that backhand straight into the net. And now she's low 30. In fact, since she's already won a point, so she's 15-30, but well, this is turning into a scrappy affair from Swiatek for sure. Great point here. This time that squash shot defense from Andreeva is not making her uncomfortable. She just puts the ball away into the other corner. Almost got there, Andreeva. Almost got there. Swiatek is almost like surprised she made the shot with her reaction there. She made the shot. I mean, someone who's definitely, well, wouldn't be surprised if she made this was the forehand return winner that Andreeva was trying to gun for. Eventually, though, she does not make it. Swiatek with a bit of a, come on reaction to herself. 40-30. This would be a pretty massive hold from love 30 for sure. Maybe some spike for her. Let's see. Ooh, but she's on the back foot from the off the return here. Ooh, ooh. And she actually covers the court here with the backhand pass. I wonder if Mirra could have done better on the approach shot. I mean, she probably could have. After that, she just didn't even have the angle to cut off the volley. Yeah, maybe just a little safe. Still a fun, inventive pass from Iga, and she gets that hold from love 30. Let's see if this is some sort of a momentum shift. Obviously, still the major thing is that she's 0 out of 7 on breakpoints, right? And she can find great returns when it's not a breakpoint, but she's struggling to when it is. Ooh, I mean, I like the idea from Andreeva to throw in the drop shot. Seems like Iga was ready, but what does she do on that last shot? I don't really have a clue. I think she just kind of, got into the tempo of the run and basically didn't really stop and think to, about what the next move is. Because her reaction to Andreeva's drop shot was good. She was on it. She was probably even quick enough to just hit it cross court, top to bottom. Not worry about any extracurricular explorations and then options. But well, anyway, double fault from Andreeva. Another strong return, but what can she do with this? I mean, Andreeva is defending very well, obviously. Tries to go for the forehand line counter again. This time she's a bit late on the ball. I mean, her accuracy on this shot in the first set was 80%. Maybe going forward it won't be this amazing. Still kind of, would be a risk anytime Iga kind of lures her into it, just like she did here with the loopier forehand cross. I think there was a point also in that rally where Iga could have gone to the net maybe, but of course she's not fully comfortable with that for the most part. Fires a great forehand return down the line though, again off the body really. She doesn't have much time to react, but she has to play it off her stomach a bit. Finds it. So 2 more break points. I mean, at this point, what can you say? If she keeps creating them, maybe at some point she will take one, but not if Mirra's first serve will be this good. I wonder why the operators still haven't shown us the stat of breakpoints taken, because, well, it seems like it's kind of the most important one in the match so far. Instead, we're getting just return winners or something like that. Anyway, 30-40. I think this is the 9th breakpoint. We're gonna check soon, but I think this is the 9th breakpoint of the match. Ooh, second serve. I mean, I'm sure Iga had a few second serves to look at already on these breakpoints. And this time she takes it. It's a high kicker into Iga's backhand. And I think I said it about Swiatek as well. I don't think these second serve kickers are good enough on this court. And for Mirra, that happens too. Anyway, yeah, it's the first chance taken by Swiatek. She's up a break. She's not up for the first time this match in a set, because I think she held, right, the first game of the encounter. But it's been a while. Now let's see how well she can front run from here. 1 out of 8, says Google. I'm not positive about it. Didn't she have like 4 breakpoints in the first game and then... Oh no, maybe she just got it to deuce from that video review. So yeah, maybe it's 1 out of 8 indeed. I'll check on something more reliable, but yeah, that's it could be right. Could be 8 or 9. I'm not positive. Anyway, yeah, it was quite a big story, of course, that she was missing these opportunities. Now she's finally got that break. Let's see what she does with that. Yeah, let me see on something that's a touch more reliable. Yeah, it is 8. Okay, so I was just one of there. I think that's because I was thinking she had a breakpoint after the video review, but it was probably just like deuce, and it never got to that. Soon enough, we will also have Rublev and Deminor coming onto the court in Doha. In Dubai, we just had our first doubles quarterfinals finish. That was Mladenovic and Shuai Zhang defeating Panova and Stolar. There are still some very, very good pairings in this draw, especially Siniakova-Townsend, of course, and Ciel Ostapenko. So both pairs who made the final at the Australian Open. And can they meet again in the final here? I believe so. Yes, indeed. Ciel and Ostapenko are third seeds, and Siniakova-Townsend are number 1 seeds, which I think is actually the exact same case as in Australia. That was, of course, very entertaining to watch there, that clash. But yeah, otherwise, we don't really have that much to talk about in the other tennis events coming right now, I don't think. So basically, we'll just keep focusing on this. And yeah, now's the opportunity for Iga to get even more ahead. If Zach was here, he would say, it's not a break until you hold. He is very set on delivering this message most times. And I think, it's obviously quite right. Especially as Mirra has been breaking her opponents so often this event. I believe that she and Iga are basically, one of the top players, definitely in terms of the leaderboards on return games won. So especially in a match like this, it's not like there's going to be hold. But, well, it's the first time Iga got to break this match. So yeah, she's frustrated here. Again, the approach is just poor. And Andreeva reads it like a book. Forehand pass down the line. The thing is, though, it's pretty tough to approach against Mirra because the ball is so short and uncomfortable of her short slices and squash shots. And yeah, you gotta just like raise it. You can't obviously hit it with topspin, or rather, you still hit it with topspin, but you gotta hit it softer than you would like. And yeah, it's somewhat difficult for sure. Still no excuse for missing that shot, I don't think. Or missing that shot, or, playing that shot like this. Because obviously she made it. She just made it a little bit too easy for Mirra in the end. Well, that's break advantage. Let's see how durable it is. That's a good put away for 30 all. Really needed to get this right. Otherwise, the situation would have been quite tricky. I'm gonna check that return games 1 star. Actually, I wonder how high Mirra is, but she's gotta be really high, I think. Iga will probably be number 1, but... Well, actually, Kasatkina is higher now. 46.5% break rate over the last 52 weeks. Mirra, though, is at number 6. So, as you can see, they are both among the top. Iga, number 2. Well, speaking of, ability to break, again, Mirra with a good return 1-2 punch. She's very aggressive on the return here, and it's generally been working out for her this match. 1 more breakpoint for her to just get right back on track. Iga hits a nice double forehand combination, though, to save it. Probably a bigger reaction from Daria and Vim rather than Iga herself after this breakpoint save. But yeah, I mean, they know how pivotal it is for Swiatek to stay up on the scoreboard here. Oh, wow. I mean, that second serve she should be put in jail for it. She still might win the point, though. I mean, the rally is still going. She's hitting some amazingly deep shots, and she does get it done eventually, forcing the error from Mirra. Some more Polish fans on our screens. And, well, they are suddenly enjoying themselves a lot more than they were 20 minutes ago, that's for sure. But still not completely done, this game. Second serve, that previous one was criminal, really. I mean, just kind of by chance that Mirra didn't take over even, to an even bigger extent after the return. Well, she's got the Russian on the back foot again, but messes up the timing here on the backhand quite a lot. Is it again the variation of pace from the teenager? Maybe. Well, this match has been a struggle for Swiatek, that's for sure. And this game is no different. Struggles are very satisfying to overcome, though. Well, that's another short response from Andreeva, but this time Swiatek is good enough with the approach, then smashes it away. It wasn't a deep lob from the teenager, so you kind of knew she was probably going to make it. And now, advantage again. This match is definitely delivering in the close games department. A lot of deuces department as well. Forehand line from Iga. Tries to go for the backhand keel, but yeah, she's quite frustrated there. She shadows the motion, but mostly I'm just not sure it was even the right choice, to be honest. Yeah, she's frustrated about how much she lifted that ball despite trying to go for it, flatter down the line. So once more deuce. Some great angles in this rally, and what is Iga even trying with the last forehand? I don't, to be honest with you, I don't understand. I mean, Andreeva found the line, but what was the idea there? It's like 3 meters out of the court. There was zero angle for the forehand down the line, I think. If she was trying to loop it like this, wow. Anyway, breakpoint again for Andreeva. Second to this game. The previous was a nice double forehand combination from Swiatek. Now she's going forehand backhand forehand rather. It's a great point, but can she wrap it up on the drive? Yeah, this time, yeah. I mean, yeah, sure. She's not shying away from these drives, that much I can tell you. Of course, in the first set, she had a bit of a horrifying mistake there, but now everything was perfect. And honestly, the whole combination, backhand cross was very aggressive, taken early. Then she plays a couple of good forehands with more feeling, gets to the net. Drive is perfect too. So, well, Mirra is really forcing her to come up with stuff like this. It's just kind of surprising that, well, while she had these game points or deuces, right, she's choosing like some ridiculous angles and just ideas that probably aren't going to work. But on breakpoint, she can stay a little safer, a little smarter, and just get the point done. Well, I don't know if this was safer, but it's certainly a fantastic backhand winner cross court of that deeper slice for Andreeva. I think this time it was Mirra who kind of, felt safe after her shot. But Swiatek took that away from her very quickly. Net court from Andreeva. Swiatek has the backhand cross-court angle. Jesus Christ. That was massive. Oh, okay. I mean, she gets the hold from low 30. This was partially the best game she's played in the match. Like, the number of very nice quick combinations and the winners was insane. But also there were just like some pretty dumb errors. So in a way, it was not the best game of the match, definitely not. But at the same time, some of the patterns that she was executing here, the backhand firing up so much, well, she's given herself hope here with the 3-1 lead. Now that next game is like a bit of a free run, right, at the Andreeva serve. And similarly to Mirra in the opening set, if she can just like get some quick holds from here, try to look for that insurance break, well, that would be how she potentially can get to the decider, obviously. Mirra hitting this very deep second serve this time. Swiatek is like you can see that she's like more intense now, and she's trying very hard to just make sure that she is in control. But well, to some extent, obviously, it can also lead to errors, and he or she is missing that forehand once more quite far behind the baseline. Was that a let? I guess it maybe was. I'm not sure. Maybe it's a second serve just from Andreeva. Yeah, I guess it was a second serve. Swiatek in her backhand corner here. She has to defend, and she won't be able to get that next shot. Looks like surviving the pressure of Swiatek in that first rally of the game might be key here for Mirra already. Yeah, and that was earlier I was talking about the break percentages for them in terms of return points. Iga was basically second, tied with Goff, and Mirra fifth. So yeah, they're basically both among the best returners in the game for sure. Interestingly, on the second serve of her opponents, it's actually Victoria Azarenka who's still top of the WTA tour. I mean, I'm sure not this year, since she is really struggling to begin the season, but that's kind of insane. Mirra is nowhere to be found though in the like top 15. So I guess she's just dominating on the first serve return. She's the best in the world. Iga at like 6th, 7th there. Anyway, not that important right now. Most you need to know is just like they're both excellent at returning. Anyway, 3-2 for Swiatek. This game ended up being a lot easier for Mirra than I think Iga was trying to, give her, obviously. But that first point kind of set the tone for the rest of it. Either way, the break is still there. Let's see if she can maintain it. Good morning, Jake. I suppose you're still in Glasgow at this point. How are the doubles matches going on there? Okay, so Molekar and Yevseyev pulled out. Kirkov Willis, the top seeds, are up a break, and Karol Valkov are also up a break. On Shidek and Masur, that's interesting because Shimon played with Daniel a couple of weeks ago. So now they're battling against each other. It's a shame Molekar and Yevseyev pulled out. I mean, they seem to be like such a weird pairing. Both guys are crazy in their own ways. Zuckerman Paris, though, were probably beating them either way. Did you guys see the comments from Riley Opelka on some like Instagram or yesterday or something like that? I think he doesn't have a Twitter account anymore, but yeah, on Instagram I think there were some comments he made about doubles, and kind of just said that like there's no such thing as a doubles specialist. They're all failed doubles singles players, and they are stealing money basically from singles players because no one wants to watch them. And obviously it's a very harsh take, but I've said before that like I think there should be a full measure from the ATP and WTA tour in terms of a doubles rather than what we have right now. Like what we have right now is a bit of a limbo situation. And I think either scrap it all together or actually care about it and promote it. Just like continuing to do the bare minimum, it's not enough for me. I want a decision, even if it is harsh. I want a decision that will either grant doubles players, just some recognition and some actual attempt at promoting this part of the sport instead of just like putting it on a parking lot court every single time and basically not caring about it at all until the final. Not even streaming it on tennis TV and the likes, or just maybe get rid of it if it's really that much of a burden. Obviously this will make about 1,500 players very unhappy, but again, I just don't think half measures are the best in this case. So I understand some of what Riley said. Obviously he was very brutal about it, but personally I would go for the approach of actually care about the game and try to promote it if you have it. I mean, doubles is also an important like developmental strategy for some players. We've seen so many guys like play doubles in order to get more comfortable at the parts of it that are basically accentuated. So like volleying just at the net overall, I think it's quite important to keep it up. But yeah, either this or that. You can't just keep going with this strategy of basically not making a decision, just delaying your decision for years. Anyway, coming back to Andreeva and Swiatek, 30-all here. There was a beautiful backhand down the line winner from Mirra. Then Swiatek took a great point where again she's forced to bend the knees low. She's forced to hit off the slice, and she does it great. But now it's 30-all. Well, short return from Mirra. Can she find the pass? She can, but how does Iga not cut off the angle there? I don't know what happened, to be honest. Is she just like not quick to the net here? Let me see the replay. This was very close. I guess maybe she was just expecting Mirra to go line again, because this really wasn't far from Iga. Oh yeah, you can see it on the replay when we have just like the camera of her legs essentially. And you can see that Iga was essentially expecting that forehand down the line from Mirra again, which I don't blame her for. Like when she hit the approach, I was just thinking, okay, so this is going to be another forehand down the line pass from Mirra for sure. And well, this is a break now as Swiatek dumps her +1 backhand into the net. So 3 games all. She worked very hard to get that break in the second set, but now, well, she just kept getting into trouble on serve. And we are back at level terms. There's no doubt about Mirra being the better player here thus far. But it's also not like it's not within Iga's power to return here, to come back. But it's going to be difficult now, especially if she allows Mirra to get this hold. There's not going to be that much to say for Iga, I guess, if Mirra just keeps finding these aces. And well, this is also a point coming for the Russian. So she gets to a quick 30 love. Could be a pretty, again, like discouraging couple of games for Swiatek if this is also a quick. Ooh, I thought Mirra might have found this down the T ace, but not this time. Beautiful forehand line from Swiatek. Mirra still plays. Oh wow, she still makes her play the forehand drive volley, and guess what? The point goes to Andreeva. Yeah, I mean, she was trying to go for such a precise angle on that forehand drive. I'm not sure this was ever gonna work. Cross court, yeah, made sense, but down the line, she just had such a narrow corridor there. So yeah, looks like a pretty quick hold for Mirra might be coming. Ooh, second serve down the T ace. Wow, very nice. Swiatek already moved to her further to her backhand side. She was trying to run around, obviously, or maybe even take the backhand earlier. But no, Mirra just goes T. I don't know if she saw Iga moving or just thought that 40 love, I might surprise her. I might go for something that I haven't before. But either way, it worked out perfectly. So 6-3 for 3, and well, potentially just 2 games away. So at this point, Iga really has no margin for error whatsoever. Still after effects of Penko beatdown? I mean, she played fine against Azarenka and Yastremska, I think Mirra is just really good. That's kind of the main thing, and Iga's serve is non-existent again. But I don't know if this is really like an aftermath of that match. I think she did handle it pretty okay, actually, overall. Mirra Andreeva is also the player who converts the most breakpoints on tour, interestingly. That's kind of... Yeah, I mean, her return stats are just insane. More or less. Like, she's up there. I mean, she converts the most breakpoints on tour. She has the best... Statistically, she's the best first serve returner on tour. Overall, in terms of breakpoints, return games won and also return points won. She's like number 5, 6, but she has the best stats on first serve return, and she has the best breakpoints converted stats among the top 50. So yeah, more or less. I mean, I can't say that she has the best return on tour, like, unequivocally, but she is up there with Goff, with Swiatek, with Kasatkina to an extent as well. But I think Kasatkina's stats are mostly just like her play style rather than actually the quality of quality of her return. Speaking of Mirra's returns, this will actually go down as a return winner, which is insane. She was hitting this so far wide, and then it lands into the net and just goes completely the other way for a return winner. That's insane. And yeah, I mean, this will go as a 0.1 on first serve return. This will go down as a return winner. But there's a little bit more to this story. Let's just say, yeah, I was mid sentence and I was just like shocked when it landed. Anyway, well, obviously, tough times for Iga here. The hold is simply required. And holds have not been easy for her this much. This set, maybe even more so. Approaching the net, and again, she just lands right into that Andreeva forehand pass. She's really struggling with these short responses from Mirra. Gotta lift the ball a bit more, and Andreeva reads her every single time. The anticipation is very strong. She's right on it. And now it's 15:30, and then, well, things are looking more and more bleak for the Pole. By the way, speaking of Andreeva, would this be the biggest win of her career? I guess Sabalenka was probably number 2 as well when she beat her at Roland Garros. I don't think she's beaten a number 1 yet. Not to the best of my memory, at least. I'll check it soon. But well, it's another turn, so 1540 and virtual match points, maybe. I think, very often in women's tennis, we don't really talk about that to this extent. But it kind of feels like simply because of the fact that Mirra would have 2 games from here, and currently she's the better player on both serve and return. Yeah, it would be a very good chance from 5-3, needless to say. Another return winner. That was for the breakpoints, obviously. Now 1540. Let's see what Iga does on the second serve, but she is in trouble. That's for sure. Ooh, Mirra trying to go for another aggressive return, but just shunks it completely. Still, the second serve was not amazing. It was just, again, a kicker. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this strategy. Definitely not. Sabalenka was number 2 when Mirra beat her at Roland Garros. Would this be more impressive? I mean, it's just a WTA 1000, same stage, quarterfinals as well. Mirra had that, Arena had that stomach bug, though. So maybe this would be the best win of her career. Let's see. Second breakpoint anyway. You guys in the point, and she just completely dumps her backhand way out. Okay, so Andreeva now very close to the win, 6-3, 5-3. She is on it today, thus far, and let's see if she can just close it out for a relatively straightforward 2-set win. Obviously, Iga led 3-1 in this set, so it's not like it would be completely, without any story in it, but still just one break she was able to land on Mirra. And just a bit of, it's not quite Ostapenko, because that Iga is in the match. She knows that she had the chances, and she could have done a bit more on many occasions here. But at the same time, it would still be a pretty dominant win if Mirra holds here. 6-3, 5-3. Anyway, first point is going to go to Swiatek. And it's an ace again. Again, aces are kind of just like the surface level thing here, but just overall the serve of Andreeva has been so much better than Swiatek's. And this is an opportunity that Iga cannot pass up at this point in time, right? I mean, she gets a pretty decent return in play, and has that aggressive backhand lined up for her, but doesn't take it. Again, that's just not really something she can do at this point in time. And once more, there's an ace coming from Mirra, who sets up 2 match points. So yeah, this is very quickly getting away from Iga here. She's trying to hunt for another ace down the tee, doesn't make it. And, the match kind of ends as it was progressing. I mean, she gets another uncomfortable short slice response, and Iga misses that. Just doesn't get the feeling there. So it's 6-3, 6-3 for Andreeva. And again, is that the biggest win of her career? You could probably argue that the Sabalenka one was similar at the very least. But it was an impressive performance for sure from the underdog. She gets her first win over Swiatek in just the second meeting. Serving contrast, I think, was definitely massive. Aces and 3 points, while Iga was struggling every game, basically. At the same time, also, again, what I mentioned, just the defense of The defense of Mirra is very tough to handle with the squash shots and like short slices. I think Iga was losing her mind a little bit on many approaches, and basically just kind of played into what Andreeva wanted too much. There were these forehand return winners down the line, not return, but forehand passing shot winners down the line, for example, right? And on many occasions, just like, the approaches from Iga, they just weren't good enough. She played too much into what Mirra wanted there with that forehand pass working so great. And when she had that lead 3-1 in the second set, it kind of never felt like much because, well, she kept struggling on serve every single game. She lost some tight ones there, for sure. But overall, on the key points, she was not clinical either. So overall, I guess it was just a very strong performance from the youngster. And she kind of got into Iga's head at some point, which didn't really help her, despite the obvious issues that Swiatek is right now also facing, and her serve just looking horrible. And yeah, just how uncomfortable Iga was on the approach. Kept getting past forehand down the line. I think even the last point of the match kind of very nicely encapsulates what the problem was there, right? I mean, once more, it's just that short slice from Mirra, and Swiatek has no idea what to do. She tries to go for an angle that's a little bit too narrow. And yeah, eventually, it's a quarterfinal in Dubai, semifinal in Doha. It's not the worst, but it's also obviously not what Iga is aspiring for. Mirra, though, semifinals in Dubai. She's going to play Rybakina or Kenin. Should be a fun encounter. Later on today, we're going to have Tauson and Noskova. That's coming up, obviously, in Dubai. Rybakina and Kenin later, and then Muchova, Kirstea. I think all of the quarterfinals obviously look pretty great, especially if Sorana is able to deliver physically, which I don't know if she will. And yeah, that's more or less it about this one. Bad week for the top 3 women, indeed. Technical superiority showed itself today. Sure, Nerlan. Anyway, can she beat Rybakina playing like this? I mean, why would that be, something out of her range? Like, I don't think technically, like right now, there's anyone who's like out of Mirra's range. Like, it's pretty clear that Sabalenka and Rybakina, they are probably the toughest opponents for her at this point in time. But at the same time, she plays Sabalenka yesterday, and I think she beats her. Sabalenka has to be really like locked in and focused in order to take her down. Even though their 2 matches this year were pretty easy, right? And in terms of Rybakina, I mean, she's not quite as good, let's say. And what is the history of their matchup? Just 1 match in 2023. Mirra took the opening set. I think she's probably easier to handle for her than Arina. So yeah, that's probably where I'm gonna finish the stream. Sorry for getting a bit confused there again. I don't know if you got the the screen with the stats after the match or not. I wasn't, to be honest with you, I wasn't following the stream the entire time. I might have just missed it. There was an interview for sure with Mirra. I'd like to see if they maybe showed us anything with the stats, but I'm not positive if they did. Maybe after the interview. Advances to first WTA 1000 semifinal, third win versus top 5. As I said, both Sabalenka, Roland Garros, and Iga were number 2 when Mirra defeated them. Yeah, I don't know if we actually got this the screen with the stats. I guess I'm gonna stop looking for it. And anyway, on Google we still had some as well, I suppose. Oh, did I just click off of it? Maybe I did. Anyway, not too important. What we have to know, of course, is that Mirra did get a pretty dominant win. Was much, much, much stronger on serve. Like there's really no question about it. Was returning aggressively, and also made Iga quite uncomfortable in the forecourt. Again, the approaches, the short balls that Iga had to lift a little bit, they were all very difficult for her, and she didn't handle that too well. Also, the big points, Mirra played much better. Anyway, that's going to be more or less that. So yeah, Rybakina or Kenin tomorrow for Miss Andreeva. And the other semi-final, of course, will be Tauson Noskova or Muchova Kirstea. Rather, Tauson or Noskova against Muchova or Kirstea, just to be clear. I'm sure you knew what I meant, but just to be clear. Anyway, thank you for this stream. It was fun to talk about this match. Definitely quite an event today, especially because of the outcome. Iga wins this fairly easily, and then probably this match is not like talked about too much. But because the upset happened, and because it's the first win for Mirra over Iga, because it's probably the biggest win of her career, I would actually place it higher than the Sabalenka Roland Garros one, simply because I think that Arena was hampered in the quarters there. And because of that, yeah, it's a pretty massive story. Now let's see if she can turn it into something special. At the beginning of the stream, I said that she's playing very solidly this year. She's definitely been up there among the best, Mirra, but hasn't kind of had like the standout result, right? I mean, semi in Brisbane, 4th round in Australia, 1 win in Doha. Like it's nothing insane, right? But now she kind of has that because she beats the number 2, because she makes the semifinals in an even bigger event than Brisbane. So let's see if she can turn this into something even greater. I'm assuming that she has the opportunity, especially if it's Kenin. But at this point, I mean, you kind of have to rate her chances just as well as the other players in the event, realistically. We'll see how much energy Rybakina has as well after winning that 3-hour match against Badosa yesterday and saving 6 match points. Will be more of a free mind right now and just keep rolling, or just maybe it will also make her chances worse a little bit. Anyway, thank you to everybody who joined today. And yeah, we'll see you some other time. I don't know what else is planned in terms of the content on Talking Tennis next few days, but obviously you can just check the channel and find out for yourself. Hopefully there's going to be still something coming from Rio, although I think John is going to be out of the venue for one day. I'm not sure. Anyway, yeah, just check the channel and you're going to know everything. If you haven't yet, subscribe. And well, this is where I say goodbye as soon as I set up the outro video, which I should have done already while I was talking, but for some reason I was not doing that. Anyway, I might also not play the outro, but I will play the outro. You want to see John Silk one more time, right? Yeah, let's do it. So clicking end stream now, and
if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.